welcome to day 2 of movies starring your favourite Game of Thrones actors. And this one is a special one because it features not 1, not 2, but 3 actors from Game of Thrones. Who are these actors, you might say? Well, you've probably guessed one of them who's on the cover. Sean Bean. So Sean Bean's in this, aka Eddard Stark. And he plays Ulrich, who is a knight, which I'll come on to a little bit again in a second. But who else have we got? Well, we've got Carice Van Houten, who you may know from the currents of the later series as Melisandre the Red Witch. And you've also got a smaller actor, a smaller part, the guy who played Marillion, just in a few episodes of Game of Thrones. I'll really be focusing on the first 2 though. Now this also has some excellent cast. Other than that, other than Game of Thrones alum, basically you've got Eddie Redmayne, who is obviously found notoriety thanks to his portrayal of Stephen Hawkins. And he's a kind of your main character here, a novice monk called Osmond. We've also got David Warner in it as well. Now this is directed by Christopher Smith and basically came out in 2010. And is not exactly, it's not a fantasy film, but it's a historical fiction, essentially. So it takes place around the, I think it's 1300 and something. You know, basically Europe has been kind of ravaged by the Black Death. And you know, people are dying everywhere. There's bodies piled up as far as the eye can see. And it focuses, like I say, on Osmond, who is this novice monk who's having a bit of a crisis of faith. You know, he's sort of, you know, staying in this monastery with his brothers, but he also loves a girl, which of course he doesn't do, and he's kind of questioning his faith. Should he go with his love, or should he stay and do his duty? And he's basically praying to God for a kind of sign, and God of course sends him a sign in the form of Sean Bean, who is this kind of knight who has been sent to investigate this very remote village that is seemingly untouched by the plague. And there's allegations of kind of witchcraft and devil worship and weird things that have been going on. So these guys have been sent to, and I put this in air quotes, investigate this village basically and see what's going on and obviously deal with it, shall we say. Along the way, obviously, Osmond basically goes with them, and there's, you know, they encounter bandits and the such. When you get to this village, you know, what's going on? Is it as it appears? Is there actually kind of witchcraft going on? Is it something else? You'll have to watch the movie to find out. So, I have to say, if you are a fan of Game of Thrones, I really suggest checking this film out because it has a fairly similar vibe to the Game of Thrones. It's very serious. I will say this, if you like kind of upbeat films and kind of happy endings, things like that, this may not be the film for you because we are talking about the Black Death, to be honest. So these things are never going to be a barrel of laughs. But it's a very good film. I have very few criticisms of this film. I will come on to a couple which in a second. But overall, this is a fantastic film, fantastically directed, and you know the performances are great in it. It's the weird thing about this. If you're a Game of Thrones fan, it's startlingly similar to the characters that he plays. So Sean Bean plays this character called Ulrich, who is essentially the kind of the leader of this kind of band of knights, essentially, or mercenaries, or whatever they are. I think they're Templars, but they don't actually necessarily say that. And you know, he's a similar character to Ned Stark. He is quite hard, but he's honourable and he's fair. And you know, he's a kind of a man of his word, and it comes across, and he kind of looks the same as well as Eddard Stark. But the more startling similarity, I would say, is Carice Van Houten's character, who is this kind of figurehead of this village, and she basically plays a startlingly similar character to Melisandre, aka the Red Witch. I mean, she basically, you know, without going into too many spoilers here, you know, she could be a witch here. She could be the kind of the occult pagan leader of this kind of village. You'll have to watch this movie to find out. But nevertheless, I have to say her character is similar. She's very manipulative, and you know, the only difference here, she's blonde. So if you're a fan of Game of Thrones, especially those characters, definitely check out this film. But it would be remiss of me not to kind of mention Eddie Redmayne, of course. Has gained much notoriety recently thanks to his portrayal of Stephen Hawkins. He plays, I guess, the kind of the point of view character Osmond, who is this kind of novice monk. I have to say, one of the kind of, maybe if I had to take some criticisms here, I would say his character is a little bit, without trying to get into spoilers here, a little bit flip-floppy in his kind of opinions on things. If you basically dedicated your life to God, I would have thought you'd have more stringent views on certain things, but he seems to be fairly easily influenced. So a minor nitpick, and I guess the only other nitpick I would say, there are a few moments when this film drags, but that is it. This is a damn good film. However, like I said, only watch this if you can handle films that are pretty dour and kind of have a real downer, to be honest with you. I gotta say, I love the ending of this film. It's probably not what you're going to expect, and leaves it on a somewhat questionable note. But I thought it was very good. I actually really liked it, and ended it in a really sort of interesting way. It opens a lot of questions, and it really sort of, you know, it's a great kind of look at that period of time and how people, you know, how people's perception of things maybe influenced them to kind of go to extreme levels. It's a really interesting film. It has some pretty good action scenes and kind of gore effects, and Sean Bean, without going on too many spoilers here, does what he's famous for. But I can't really recommend this film enough. I think, you know, it's a really, really good film. Not for everyone, like I say, but if you're a Game of Thrones fan, I do suggest checking it out. I'm going to give this movie a 9 out of 10. Yes, 9 out of 10. Have you seen it? What did you think of it? Leave me a comment, and I will look forward to seeing you next time. Bye for now.